Okay, we're going to try this again. Hopefully there is audio. Let's see. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, ooh. 1, 2, 3. There's audio, yay! Okay. Thank you to Beth, Rachel, and Carrie for joining me on the other live stream. Epic fail, there was no audio, so hopefully you can hear me okay this time. Yay! Thanks, Beth, I appreciate that. Okay, so I'm gonna give it another minute or two. Hopefully folks will be able to find me and join me over here. Man, okay. You know, the first time you do something like this, something is gonna go wrong. So I just wanna shout out to my wonderful husband, Oscar, for being infinitely patient and trying to offer as much tech support as possible. Unfortunately, I think the user error was the problem, and that would be this guy right here. I think I just set it up wrong, trying to get all fancy. So anyways, thank you, Oscar. He's trying to escape. Okay. So thank you again for joining my first Flosstube, first YouTube Live. Welcome to the Notorious YouTube channel. Here, I like to try to empower you to break the rules of conventional cross stitch so you can stitch whatever you want. And so today, I wanted to tell you a little bit about what I'm working on. I wanted to show you some things that I've done that you may not have seen. I do have a little Etsy shop. It's etsy.com/shop/notoriousneedle if you're interested in checking it out. One of the cool things I did was I actually created this these 3D letters out of just embroidery floss and plastic canvas, and it's kind of a pet project of mine, and wanted you to see. So let me grab those letters. Probably should have had them here. I got my craft bag. Think of it as like Mary Poppins carpet bag, right? You never know what you're gonna pull out of here. So here's one of the letters. This is the letter U, obviously, same front and back. So this is just 14 count plastic canvas with 4 strands of embroidery floss. You could probably get away with 3, but because it's on plastic canvas, I wanted to use 4 so that I could get full coverage. Here, let me bring it up closer to the camera so you can see it better. Here you go. So the cool thing about these 3D letters is that they stand alone. So I made 4 letters, F, U, C, K, because I swear. I love swearing. Hopefully you're here, you like swearing too. I probably, hopefully won't swear on camera, but I do like swearing. Hey, Crafty Chick, thanks for joining me. Oh, hey, Mark, but really, Rachel, thanks for coming back. I appreciate that. So glad you guys can hear me now. So I wanted to know, a little while back, I did a quick survey to see if there was anything that folks really enjoyed in my shop. And actually, these 3D letters were what people voted on the most, that if they could make anything in my little shop, it would be these letters. So I wanted to know if you thought it might be worth it to, we're just going to leave one out. If you thought it might be worth it for me to make the whole alphabet. These are not easy to make. The pattern isn't easy to make. The actual letter, it's a bit of a challenge. However, I do have tutorials for every single one, video tutorials included, as well as full color pictures to walk you through the patterns. The F even stands up by itself. Well, you probably won't be able to see it, but it does. Ooh, there we go. And so the challenge is the overcast stitch, which in this case is also the joining stitch, and then you have to assemble them in a certain order, or else you won't be able to reach all of it. Anyway, I really liked making these. So if you would like me to create the rest of the alphabet, it'll take some time. Let me know. What letters would you like me to create first? Do we need more vowels than just the U? Let's see. For you, it would be this way, right? Maybe I'll make some of the more common letters like M and N. You know, we could Wheel of Fortune this stuff. So, but it does take me a few weeks to create each of these patterns, even if I work on them pretty much every day, because I want to make sure that the pattern works. Then I record the video. I want to make sure it's easy for you to follow along. So, yeah. So let me know what letters you think I should do next. In that vein, I do have a 3D pattern up my sleeve coming soon, but I don't want to give too much away. It's super fun. It's a little bit not as snarky as my normal patterns, but it's still really fun. It's still magical, and hopefully you'll like that. Maybe I'll give you an idea of what it is. Let's see. We'll say it's a living thing that never existed. And I don't want to give away more than that. So some of you may already know what I have in mind. But I'll release that soon, see how it goes, see how you like it. Again, it'll have, you know, the full video instructions of how to assemble it, how to put together. And pretty soon I'll be doing a tutorial on the turkey stitch, also called turkey work. And that shows you how to make fringe and cross stitch, which is really cool because it opens up the whole world of textures and the textures you can use to create fun things like pom-poms or even like animals. One of the coolest examples I saw online was a squirrel's tail. Like the squirrel was all done in cross stitch and then the tail was like all fluffy. It was super cute. I don't do cute, but I might do magical. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see, what else am I working on? Oh, this is so much fun. I am so excited about this. Okay, I have been working my buns off. Okay, I wish that was true. I wish you really could work your buns off. But I have been working so hard to try and create a live shop on my website so that you don't have to go through Etsy. You can come directly to my website, pick out a fabulous pattern, stitch it. The tutorials are right there. All the patterns, all of my patterns anyways have linked to my tutorials, and I always do a tutorial for every stitch that I use. So if you're new to cross stitch and you haven't done back stitch or fractional stitches or the upcoming turkey work, there will be a tutorial for that as well. But the idea is you come to my shop, grab a pattern, sit down, have a good stitch, enjoy yourself, chuckle, you know, because my patterns are snarky, to say the least. So I'm super excited about that because it'll let me put up patterns whatever I want. And that's what I'm all about, right? I want you to be able to stitch whatever you want. If it's curse words, if it's, there's lots of, let's just say, anatomically correct embroidery out there. And there are few places to display that. And so while the anatomical cross stitch is not my bag, the profanity is, the craftivism is, where the cross stitch has a message, and the idea is to get the conversation going. So if you like that kind of cross stitch, you'll like my political therapy collection. It came out on March 3rd, which was Super Tuesday, and definitely will be coming in handy come November 3rd. But more on that later. I'm really excited because, okay, so you may know that one of my patterns was banned from Etsy. This pattern I created in late 2019, and I tried to post it onto Etsy in early March, and by then we were already in this rather nasty situation that we're all in right now. All in together, but apart, right? Super cheesy logos and all that stuff. Anyway, the pattern was meant to be a commentary on the American healthcare system, or the lack of a functioning healthcare system, one that functions for everybody. And the pattern is called GoFundMe, and the pattern says GoFundMe is not a healthcare plan. And Etsy banned my pattern, and man, I was in a rage. Oh, I was so mad. I was like, how dare they, and censored this and censored that. And I understand now that Etsy was just trying to prevent misinformation and any items that might make false claims about healthcare in general and hurt the public. And their automatic algorithm wasn't doing a very good job of screening out only the bad stuff. It was screening out good stuff. And then later on, they started allowing people to post like funny t-shirts about, the virus, this and that. And I was able to later post a collection called the Quarantine Collection, which is really funny. There's even a picture of a little virus. There's a pattern called Peace, Love, Sanitize, and there's a little picture of a virus on there. So they let that one through. But the GoFundMe pattern was censored. And so I posted it on my website for free. If you're on my mailing list, you can get that for free. There should be a link below if you're interested in that pattern, and there's a bunch of others too. And I'm excited about launching the shop on my website because I won't be censored. So as long as I don't do anything illegal, and I don't plan on it, I might do edgy things, more snarky things, and more political commentary. I'm sure there's more in me. Nothing unsafe, but patterns like that, I can get them to you better through my own website. So I'm super excited. It's mostly set up. Now I just gotta load all the data, which is gonna take a long time, right? I mean, if I have it up in the next month or two, I'll be really happy about that. So that will be a good timeline. So figure hopefully by the end of July. So that will be cool. So that's coming up soon. Let's see, what else do I have on my plate? Lots more tutorials coming your way. I have this cloth that I ordered. Let's see, I ordered this Ada cloth. This is Easy Count brand Ada cloth. I don't know if you can see, it's got the grid lines already printed on it. I'm going to put it down so the crinkle doesn't get into the microphone. But the Easy Count is pre-gridded cloth, Ada cloth, or fabric. And so that you don't have to grid it yourself. And the grids are in 10 by 10 squares. Just like most patterns, you'll see the pattern chart will be divided into 10 by 10 squares. And so because the fabric matches the chart, it makes it so much easier to count. And there are many fewer mess-ups, miscounts. So nobody likes picking out their stitches, right? We call it frogging, right? Because you have to rip it good. Yeah, I'm a dork. But anyway, so that tutorial will be coming up soon. I'm excited about that. So I guess, let's see. I wanted to show you what I'm stitching. I'm stitching one of my political therapy patterns. Ooh. This one has profanity in it. Surprise, surprise. So I started stitching this one. Oh yeah, you guys, I cannot wait till November. Super excited about that. So what I was hoping to accomplish today was I was hoping to have you all here and we could chat back and forth, and I could just sort of stitch along. I even did the outline of the word vote so I could stitch it in and not really have to think about it much. But without that secondary camera, you're not going to see what I'm doing, which I thought might be cool. And I want to sit here and stitch and look down because that's just dumb. And I haven't done my hair, you know. I stayed home. I'm good, but I got the roots, you know. So I don't think I'm going to do that. But so I guess that's all I have prepared to say. Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone have any requests for upcoming tutorials? Is there something that you've always wanted to know about cross stitch but haven't seen anything about it yet? So put a little note in the comments and maybe I can help you out, or I'd love to know what you want to learn. Maybe I can create a tutorial on that as well. No questions yet? So I don't even know what's in the description of this video right now because the last live video was an epic fail. So I had to launch this live lickety split. So, but there should be a link below to, you can go to notoriousneedle.com/get20, and that'll sign you up to my list, and you'll get automatic 20% off coupon for all the patterns in the Etsy shop. Let's see, Beth wrote, I'm excited for the turkey stitch tutorial. I think it would be cool to use for a Santa beard for ornaments. Ooh, that's a good idea. I love that idea. You guys, I love cross stitch that has a function, right? Like these letters, you can, they're not just for decoration. I mean, they're pretty sturdy. You can squeeze them, you can squish them, you can play with them, like, and they're 3D. Like, how cool is that, right? Three-dimensional cross stitch. I love that stuff. So I would love to come up with some ornaments because those are, again, functional and beautiful. And maybe we can add some glitter. We can use the new, okay, forgive me if I mispronounced this, the new étoile thread. Not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but it's the new thread from DMC that has the glitter all like twisted in it. It's really pretty. Do you have any summer themed patterns planned? Saints. Okay. So summer themed patterns planned. I don't actually. The only pattern I think I'm going to release this summer will be the new 3D pattern because I am working so hard on getting the shop up, and that's going to take up a lot of my time over the next month or two, a lot of my spare time. I still have a day job. Like, I work 9 to 5. Normally, I'm in an office, and so the only time I have for stitchy fun time is after hours. I also volunteer for a nonprofit dance company. It's the longest running dance company in Broward County, which is kind of cool. I really enjoy it. And that's a few hours a week as well. So cross stitch has to fit in there, and I'm really focusing on getting the shop up. But I will get that new 3D pattern out, and it's going to be super fun. So I can't wait for you to see that. I would stitch my name. Well, Beth, those, let's see, the E, the T, and the H would be pretty easy because they're all 90-degree edges, and with the plastic canvas, which you probably know, it's a lot easier to create corners and edges than it is to create curves. The B, I'll have to think about. I might have to do almost like a red 80s 8-bit version or something where it's a little bit square looking. Or I might be able to add some curves in. The curves are hard though, and I want it to be as easy and fun for you to stitch as possible. So I'll have to work that out. But E and T are really common letters, so I might do those next. Let's see. What did you make the 3D letters out of? Oh, so the 3D letters are just perforated plastic, which is slightly different than plastic canvas. And I have a little article on my website that tells you about the difference, but perforated plastic and embroidery floss. I'm a little washed out. I think I'll turn this light down for next time, but and that's it. Just those two things. So all you need is the pattern, the perforated plastic, embroidery floss, and a pair of scissors. That's all you need to make these. You don't need anything else. And some grit, because it's a lot of stitches. These are pretty big. I might make a second alphabet that's like a little bit smaller, but I wanted them to be visible. You could put them on a shelf and make a statement. They're not really meant to be hung on a wall or anything. So I wanted them to be a little bit bigger. So we'll see. But yeah, just those two things, perforated plastic and embroidery floss, that's it. I like that idea, Beth, stitching our names. Yeah, I'm thinking a lot of people will like that idea. So right now, these letters are available in 2 bundles. You have, let me see if I do this backwards, like this. Okay, you have these 2 letters, the F and the U, and then you have all 4 letters available, and that's it. So what I might do is create the whole alphabet and sell them separately, so you could pick and choose. And I might do like a, hey, buy 4, get 1 free kind of pattern situation. So that could work with these, and then you could make your name or anyone's name or any word you want, 4-letter or otherwise. Let's see, Rachel R is a curved letter too. S might be a nightmare. There are ways around that. So cross stitch is really good for creating, what do I call it, pixel art. So I might just be able to create like a bigger version of a square-ish R or a bigger version of a square-ish S, right? I think I could figure that out. I think I could do it, and I think I could do it in a way that wouldn't be too difficult for you to stitch either. So let me give that a try. All right, I got my work cut out for me. Thank you. Thank you for the suggestions. I really appreciate it. Well, it's a good thing that Sarah is available to help. Yes, I am. So if you have any questions about cross-stitch stuff, it doesn't have to be on a tutorial that I've already done. It could be on something you're struggling with that I haven't covered yet. Let me know. I might even create a tutorial on it. But by helping you and answering your questions, we might be able to answer questions for a bunch of other people who either haven't come to the craft yet, which is super fun. I love introducing people to cross stitch, or are too scared to ask or maybe too shy. So so just reach out to me here. You can reach out to me on YouTube. I'm also at Notorious Needle on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and Pinterest. I don't know if Pinterest does messaging. I think they do. I'm not sure, but I'm Notorious Needle everywhere. And if you go to notoriousneedle.com, I do have a contact page, and I get those emails. I check my emails all the time, so you'll definitely reach me there. The best way to reach me is on Facebook. Guys, I'm on Facebook all the time. I'm on Facebook too much, but I will get your questions there. If you have them, suggestions are welcome. And assholery won't be tolerated. So skip that, scroll right on. Okay, well, if that's it for questions, so next time I hope to get this tech all sorted out. Oh, another question. Have you ever used perforated paper? So I have used perforated paper, and perforated paper is really good if you want to stitch something that's a little bit stiffer than fabric, but not quite as stiff as the perforated plastic. Perforated paper is also bendy. So like if you wanted to create a shape, I don't know if I would do something as big as this because it rips. It does rip. It's just paper. But instead of like creating seams and stitching the edges together with perforated paper, potentially, and I haven't tried this yet, you could just bend it. You could create a crease like paper and bend it. And so for smaller things like maybe a 3D flower, excuse me, if you wanted to stitch a flower on perforated paper, and you can sort of like I could see where you could squish it and like sort of bend it into shape. Now with perforated paper though, you can't get it wet because it will weaken the paper. That may be cool to create some effects, like you could get it wet and like get it into a certain shape and then air it dry real fast, but it does make it weaker. So it does rip, it does tear. I mean, even perforated plastic tears a little bit if you're rough enough with it. But perforated paper, you do have to be kind of gentle. But it's really cool if you want to stitch like, well, Beth, we were talking earlier about creating little cross stitch patterns, cross stitches on like greeting cards, right? Perforated paper is perfect for that. And you could even make your own cardstock, crafty chick, with yeah, holiday cards, exactly, Beth, thank you. You could stamp the paper and create your own perforations. It would have to be healthy, I don't know if that's the right word, but like good thick cardstock. And then you could stitch on it that way too. And then you wouldn't have to starch it and you wouldn't have to finish the edges to keep them from fraying because perforated paper does not fray. It's not woven. So there's nothing to fray, which is really cool. So you could do that. You could make holiday ornaments out of it. You could make a lot of things. It would not be as sturdy as perforated plastic and plastic canvas, but it is more stiff than fabric. So the potential is endless. Giving me ideas. I love it. All right. I think I am going to go ahead and call it there. This has been so much fun. Thank you so much, everybody, for participating. I really, really appreciate it. Hopefully, you gleaned some good information and come back again later, and I can actually like stitch with you, which was the plan all along. But next time I'll be stitching, I hope. So, you know, the first time you do something, you're going to mess up. You just got to accept it, right? So little things here and there. But thank you again for sticking it out and for joining me. I really appreciate it. I'm glad we finally got the audio working. Thank you again, Oscar. He's amazing. And thank you to all of you. Thanks, Mark/Rachel. Nice of you to say. I really appreciate it. For now, I'm going to go, but I hope to see you again. I will let you know when I'm doing my next live stream. I'm hoping to do these maybe once a month or so. I don't want to do them so often because I don't have so much time for stitching. So I don't want you to get bored with like the same dumb updates and stuff. But I do plan to do this again. I do plan to do it where there's an overhead camera so you can see what I'm stitching and we can maybe stitch together. So I think that would be cool. Yeah, so until next time, thank you so much again for coming and stitch on.